Hey everyone, it is Neha with College Shortcuts. I hope you're having an incredible day. I wanted to talk to you. I know that yesterday I talked a lot about the importance of the Common App and how to fill it out. I walked through an entire training video about the Common App specifically and what it meant when you log in. And one of the biggest things people didn't realize was seeing all the little nitty gritty things that happen specifically in the Common App. So today I want to talk a little bit about some of the biggest mistakes that are made in the Common App because so many people think it's super easy, but with anything that's online, there's always glitches, or it pauses, or it freezes, or it doesn't save. And I want to talk about three of the biggest mistakes that happen on the Common App. Now, for anyone that's watching, my name is Neha Gupta. I'm the founder of College Shortcuts and Elite Private Tutors. We're a one-stop shop for parents that want to get their kids into dream colleges, as well as any test prep tutoring that's needed. And I know back to school is coming, so a lot of you have this on top of mind. So today I want to go over three mistakes that happen. I'm going to go ahead and, hi Missy, nice to see you. And as we do these videos, if you like our video, it really means the world to us. If you share it, even better than anything else. And then third, call us at 713-401-2867. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here right now so that you can see specifically, thank you, Missy, and the hearts always matter. So you can specifically see the Common App. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over here. So yesterday I went over and I added a few colleges. Like I said, these are just different colleges that I've added. But one of the things that happens a lot is that, and it happened yesterday, and see, it's not happening this time because it's the second day. Now, yesterday when we clicked on Common App, it didn't even open. So here we would fill out, Larry the lamb, and suffix would be no suffix here. Mary had a little lamb, let's say. Oh, that's too bad. That's fine. No, we'll name you female, date of birth. Let's just come up with one. No, wait, you have to be younger. There, okay. And then your address. We can do that. So anyways, I'm not going to fill out this whole application. What the Common App does, just so you know, is the Common Application itself adds in all of the information that would go to every single college. It's like a template is probably the best way to say it. So it'll ask you questions about your profile, ask questions about the family, it'll ask questions about your parents specifically. I highly recommend that your child does this with you because this is the one form that goes to every single school. And it asks a lot of questions that are very detailed that your teenager may not know. And one of the biggest mistakes is not being involved in this process for them. Now, it's so important, they'll ask you questions like you can self-report, that's also fine, but you can also officially report as well. So you can't forget all these little things, and then you can add all the activities, etc. Writing, it's going to be specifically the main essay that require the personal essay right here with the topics here. So I want to talk to you a little bit here about this. The number one biggest mistake is that so many times we think, oh, it's not a big deal. We'll just do it the day before the deadline. I cannot tell you the amount of people that literally cannot either log into Common App or can't even submit, and it freezes and crashes over and over like it did yesterday. August 1st is one of the most busiest days because everyone's opening it, taking a look at it. And as you can see, it crashed all day long. As I was in it, I was like, God, can I get access? What am I going to do? Etc. So I'm here to tell you that doing it last minute, even though you may think you can, you may not realize that the university or the school itself, the Common App itself, let's talk about the Common App itself, they may not have servers that can handle upwards of 1 million users on it at a time. They may not have built it that way. It makes a lot more sense to get this done early. And I see it over and over and over where students wait to the last minute and literally they can't submit the application. And while colleges will maybe deal with that, they'll probably say, wow, this person really waited to the last minute. The second thing I want to talk about here is some students, what they'll do is they'll click on, this, and it'll say the application will accept less than 250 words and 650 is max. It's a limit, not your goal. So they'll just start, please write an essay. So they'll literally start typing right here. And, say it's like, hi, my name is Larry the Lamb. My background story is that Mary had a little lamb and that was Larry. How funny, it rhymes. Let's say I spelled rhymes R-Y-M-E-S. Notice how it doesn't correct for spelling at all? So the biggest mistake that students will make is that they'll just start writing their essay prompt in this little box here, which is horrible. And it's giving you information here. You can paste text from another source. One of the biggest things that I recommend, and one of the biggest mistakes that I constantly see here, is that people just start typing in their essays here, and they don't spell check, grammar check, have a consultant read it, all the steps that you really need. And you may not realize this, but 1 in 3 seniors is using a college consultant. 1 in 3 students are using a consultant in this process. So if you think that, oh, it's not a big deal, I can just do it myself, that's definitely one way to do it. But from what we've seen, usually the essay part here, you want to make sure you think about which prompt here is the best prompt. That's the first step. Second step is from that prompt, what do we want to do about it in terms of making sure that we understand, okay, these are all the different prompts. What is the right prompt for me? And that's based on all the brainstorming that you do, really thinking through what the right topic is, what are things you've dealt with, what are experiences you've had, what do you want to study, and then drafting the essay, and then editing it, and then drafting, and then editing, and having someone review it all for you. The biggest mistake we see over and over is that students are just submitting by typing into this box and hitting the word continue. Now, this won't let me submit, probably. Oh, it did. It still let me submit even though I was less than 250 words. So the Common App doesn't care. It's not going to tell you anything here that's going to say, oh, like, look, I didn't even enter the minimum. I mean, that's horrible. And it still continues. It's fine with it, right? So the Common App's job is not to successfully get you into college. It's just an internet form that lets you submit the same thing over and over to colleges. So writing the essays inside the application itself is one of the biggest mistakes. The third thing I'll tell you is one of the other biggest mistakes people make is in the activities section. You add these activities and it'll ask you what you did, how much time you spent, etc. Well, in here, so many people will write things, and I've seen it over and over, where it's like activity type. They'll say, let's say it's community service. You'll just say like volunteer, and then you'll just describe it as like volunteered at a hospital. Wow, here it'll check spell check, but it won't in essays. Isn't this crazy? When did I do it? Just 11th. I'm doing it 12th. During the school year, I did it 2 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, and yes, I want to do it. Well, guys, this wasn't really clear what it was. It didn't say like volunteer at Methodist Hospital. It didn't say like specifically what you did. Head volunteer for making sure patients, I work with parents, so I think them all the time. Patients were taken care of, was involved with doctors and patient care, blah, 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 blah. Look at how much space there is here, okay? So you really want to have a beautifully designed resume that also can walk them through this, that you can also send in. This is another way to do it, but it is so important for you to make sure you really methodically think through this before just submitting a template to 10 schools. I mean, if you think about it, you're already investing $75 in application. shouldn't you invest in making sure the application looks right? That's my biggest tip for everyone here listening, because so many times parents will say, oh, it doesn't really matter, it's fine, it's not a big deal. But I'm here to tell you guys, it is a big deal. It's a very big deal if you have not figured this out. And I'm doing this early on because I want you guys to know that we are literally booking heavily for, I'm going to make this really huge. Let's see, here we go. Biggest common application mistakes. So for everyone that's logging in, my name is Neha Gupta. I'm the founder of College Shortcuts and Elite Private Tutors. Today I'm talking to you specifically about the application and how it's done. And I just want to reiterate here, the first biggest mistake is people waiting till the last minute. The second biggest mistake is that people just write their essays inside. They don't have spell check, they don't have grammar, and they get automatically rejected. The third thing is, they don't even really think about the activities they've participated in. What's really, really frustrating to me is that parents will invest in things like gymnastics or karate or a sport or singing or soccer or whatever else. And then when it comes time to really sharing what that all is, they didn't even think about, okay, well, how do we have someone to present this in the most effective way? If you think about it, when people apply for jobs, the people that really get those jobs are the people that absolutely have someone by their side understanding exactly what needs to be done. You don't submit just anything when you want to get a job somewhere. You submit a cover letter that's almost, if you think about it, like a personal statement on why you're amazing. You submit things like all of the activities or things you've done to show why you're qualified. Having a second person review this is so important. Applying to college is almost exactly the same as applying for a job. And if you don't personally have the experience of doing hundreds and thousands of applications and understanding what it is they truly want, your child is really not going to be at the top of the applicant pool. Now, I'm going to take some questions here today. I see Missy's asking, what if there's not enough room? What is there not enough room to list all the awards you've received for an activity? So, Missy, this is a big reason why working with a consultant is really effective. One of the things we do is we really help to hone in on what the resume needs to focus in on to make your child stand out. So I highly recommend you call us at 713-401-2867, because if your child has lots of awards, you want them to know about what it is your kid is doing, right? I mean, I find it so frustrating when, parents are willing to spend like tens of thousands of dollars into a camp or into a vacation or into a summer activity. And all of this other stuff. But they're not willing to think about, okay, well, if we invest in someone who understands the application process and really understands what colleges want and what the colleges want and actually works and talks with admissions directors and can literally get you a return on whatever you spend as a consultant, with a consultant, in scholarships and getting your kid into a college that will inevitably lead them to getting into a college that ends up getting them a job that has 20 or 40 or 60 or $100,000 more in a job later on from this one decision that you make. It just floors me how parents have no problem dropping like $2,000 to $4,000 on braces. But when it comes to the application process, we just think we can totally do it on our own. And this is the thing, when you go to take your car, I'll tell you a great example. Yesterday, I was dealing with a flat tire, and literally the tire was hissing air. Now, I would love to change my own tire, but when it's pouring rain, when it's hissing, when I'm wearing a dress, I'm trying to get it all done, I would rather drop it off somewhere, pay some money, and then get my car back the next morning, done, ready to go, and fully safe. Who's this? And I know changing a tire, people can do it. I need to learn that skill. But I'm sure to tell you, you don't change your own oil. When you get a dent in your car, you don't sit there and stick your hand in the bumper and try to fix it out. When it comes to teaching your kids soccer, if you want them to be, a really top soccer player, you don't sit there and do it just yourself. It takes a team to make the dream happen. And so many people forget that the college admissions process is exactly the same. And it's painful to watch, from the sidelines when I see so many parents trying to do it on their own, delaying it every single day, something that we can get done in less than 14 to 20 days for them. And really just kind of putting it on their to-do list. They're like, I got my to-do list. Oh yeah, I was busy making dinner. We just didn't get to the conversation. Or, oh my gosh, it's just been really hard between my husband and I can't get this on the plate to talk about. I'll give you a call back. The reason I'm so passionate about this is, and I'm going to change names, but I'm working with a student right now. Let's call him Neil. Neil is a 22-year-old. He comes from a very, very successful family background. One of the top, 0.1% of the city that I work with him in. And he's 22, and he's just finishing freshman year in college. Now, when I asked him, like, hey, what happened here? He had gone to a school, he didn't do well. He tried again, he didn't do well. He switched to another school, and then he dealt with some personal issues, and then he didn't do well. And now he's trying to get his degree. He won't graduate till he's 26. And when we went through just a 1.5 hour meeting about his life, what he's been doing, etc., he said, no one has ever asked me these questions. I said, when you were in high school, who was your high school counselor? Did they get involved in the process? Did they help you with the application? Did they help you choose colleges? Did they find out what you were passionate about? Because you're 22 and you still have no idea what you want to do. Did they talk to you about your personality and what your great fit is and what would be good for you? What's your unique angle? He goes, Neha, no one has ever had this type of conversation with me. And I said, I'm sure, your grandparents are major tycoons. I'm sure they sat you down. He goes, yeah, but in all honesty, like, I hate to say this, but, they try to talk to me all the time. My grandparents, my parents, I just don't always listen to them. Like, it just doesn't, it's not really constructive. Like, sometimes I feel like they're just yelling at me or they're trying to get me to do something. And, just 1.5 hours with you totally changed my life. Like, now I know what I need to do. I need to know what schools I go to, etc. So I just want you guys to know that sometimes having an outside party doesn't hurt. Having a mechanic doesn't hurt. Having someone fix your landscaping doesn't hurt. There's so many different ways that you can have the success you want for your kid without you needing to do it. And I say this because I have so many stories after stories of talking with parents that are like, Neha, I'm trying to do everything I can with my kid, but by the end of the day, I'm just wiped. Like, I can't even think about, discussing a hard topic for their essay or all this stuff that you guys do. And, the parents that really sign on with us, they really get the help they need and they get it done and off their to-do list. That's my favorite thing. I'm a get it done type of person. I get through hundreds of tasks a day. I love helping kids, and our team does too. We've got an incredible team of tutors and coaches. So today I want to talk about the biggest common mistakes that I see year after year, because I get calls where it's on the day of the deadline and parents are screaming at me. And I'm like, I don't know why you're screaming at me when I have been talking to you since July and June and February of this year that the applications were open. So why did you wait till the last minute? That's number one. The second one I talk about is some students write their essay right there on the inside. And oh my God, it's absolutely horrible because, admissions directors will say, oh my God, I read a kid's essay and it literally had like a period and then a space and another period after a sentence. Like, we can't, if a student can't take the time to check their work now, like, they're just, no, it's just a reject, because they've got all these other students that have applications that are perfect, that had a consultant review them, that, they're just going to accept what they really want their standards to be. And they feel like if a student doesn't have the right standards, then they're going to show that all over the college campus in all sorts of ways representing the college. So that's the second biggest mistake. And then the third is, really not showing your passion, your resume, your items correctly in the activities part, and just using short words or not being clear about what it is. No one sits you down to say like, hey, how do we make you a sales pitch on what this specific activity is or that specific activity is too? So I want to let you guys know, we are launching our College Mastery program right now. We have 5 spots left. If you are looking for help for your child, right now, 5 spots will be done really soon with us. And we have an incredible team that have been trained by me that know exactly what to do in the application process to make sure everything is done and really, really making sure your kid stands out. Because, I was there too. I had a high school counselor that wasn't available till the end of August, even though applications were already open. And we didn't get our first meeting until about mid-September. And that was our first meeting. Applications were due in October. And so between September and October, I had like maybe 4 weekends as a senior. There were test dates going on there. I had the flu. I remember I had the flu when I tried to take the SAT just one more time. And my score dropped 200 points. So that was an unexpected thing. You can't plan for being healthy during the test. I was under so much stress. My body was under attack. My high school counselor wasn't available to me. There was just so many factors involved in the process that made this nearly impossible for me. And it's why I do what I do. It's why I am here today telling you. It's why you are watching this video, because you know that it is so important for your child to not make the biggest common application mistakes. 1 in 10 students make a mistake and they get rejected. And it's really painful to watch because no one is sitting there to make sure your kid is being taken care of. No one at the school is really handling all of this to this level of detail. So I just wanted to at least do a quick video to tell you some of the 3 biggest mistakes in the Common App, because I see it every single year. And since we work with thousands of students in our program with College Shortcuts and our online course, walking through the entire process, I wanted to tell you about College Mastery today because I know you want to get the help you want for your child. And just like you wouldn't, fix your own dents on your car, or try to change your oil and spend all these hours trying to learn it, please understand that trying to learn the common application when you hand wrote your applications and applied to maybe 1 or 2 schools, trying to get the level of expertise as someone who's done this for over 10 years is going to be highly challenging. And this is the biggest decision for your child's academic future. I deal with parents that are like, oh my God, I'm trying to get my kid into pre-K and kindergarten and all elementary, middle, and the right high school. Well, guys, the right college is the end of it all. It's the end of their academic career. It's the end of them having a social life before they go into the job world. It's the end before they pick what they want to do with their life. That is so important. And if you're not doing this right, you're really tripping up your kid's future success. So I hope you're having an incredible day. I wanted you to hear from me about the biggest mistakes that we see over and over, because I care about you and I care about your child, and I want to make sure they get into the college of their dreams and get hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships and make sure your family is taken care of, because no child should be left behind. And our vision at College Shortcuts is to make sure that every child has the right to get into their dream college with the right help, the right mentoring, the right strategy, and the right team. So go ahead and call us at 713-401-2867. I hope to see you soon. Love you guys all and talk to you soon. Bye.